Okay, abusunya bɛma kwaba sonko so ɛdeba POG Media so. Yɛde mbɛkɔ political highway ni so highway ni deɛ ɛnsɛm bebree wɔ so a yɛn so yɛagye pene sɛ bɛmi abidwafoɔ no ahu deɛ ɛkɔ ɛne deɛ ɛba abusunya ma yɛn bonwura ɛyɛ yɛn nsɛm mu no ɛyɛ Professor Gyampo ɛnsɛm a mo nim sɛ ɔyɛ obi a ɔyɛ ɛkyɛ sɛ political analyst ono no afi no se NPP baberi nyina no Professor Gyampo astepe on their neka ebusua enye easy kra NDC NPP for the to her no ono so the atu ha NPP for the to her na ono so e de atu ya na we ena ebusua sisi anenti a yenya ne se eye Professor Gyampo no ono ena ye ba begin se ono na ebe ye EC boss a ebusua enye asem keto akwana na omo live on TV3 show eye discussion na no omo ye no eye lawyer Martin pebu nanu na kopae a o chese isisi a no omo ba be lobby e de ama eye ono Professor Gyampo no na wa ba be ye EC boss because eye JeanMensah&Bossman Asare no at the papa bi ani wo omoye den omoye all because of their political interest NPP amanyoko no na etese omodi omoachi a always be ano ompese omochinchin NDC nsa ede ewia abatu mo de mo no entin Martin Kwebu na no pai e break it news na abusua yenso yese yen fancy mu ye be ma ya bedwafo ne so ahu de ekọ ene de e banansa na ebekọ no Mommy uncle na yenkonkoti and some course na san ebekono or and some can be a fashe the comment section like na share ma afofron so answer into me and can be aha POG Media so madam say.
But you don't have to do this in a manner that fester that kind of perception, allegation and perception. You don't have to do that.
And in fact, that leads me to the next question, Prof. That point you just made, and I want you to still stay on it because there's been that contention that could the Electoral Commission have acted differently because of the same perception or in some cases the reality of the outcomes of their actions that has impacted on how people perceive the neutrality and independence of the Commission itself. We have seen over the period the posture and conduct of some members of the Commission that has raised concern. And now this particular decision that even though they acted on a court order, we're seeing how things are playing out. Does that concern you?
Well, I'm worried. I think that first, I don't know whether an emergency IPAC meeting was convened prior to the decision.
There was supposed to be an IPAC meeting yesterday.
It was called and called off.
It was called and called off.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that you see, given
but one was being held yesterday.
Yes. So given the brouhaha, I think the EC could have quickly summoned an IPAC meeting, to discuss some of these things. Even prior to
no, Prof. This matter has become very political because you see, we got declarations made in our favor. NDC. Yeah. MPP says they disagree. Yeah. Then the commandeer, for instance, Fantiakwa, declarations made in Begro to be brought to Tesano and declared.
Okay. But was that supposed to be the case?
No.
Okay, so
hold on. Not pursuant to any court order. Yeah. Not pursuant to any laid down law.
Yeah.
So they are relying on the Tesano declaration. Yeah. NDC is relying on the Fantiakwa declaration. Yeah. How will IPAC resolve this?
No,
you understand?
This is going beyond the IPAC.
Yeah, so
the rightful forum should be in the court.
Exactly. So it has to be a court of law, like the Constitution says.
What I don't like personally is the discussions of the content, even before the court.
You mean the merits?
The merits of the matter. Yes. You see, Ghana is the only place we have.
Personally, can only take a court.
Losing election will not bring your life to zero.
Yeah. Okay.
You see, so let us agree that we will.
Some people is bread and butter for them. But you are a lawyer.
Yes, please.
Because you see, as soon as the last Saturday declaration were made at Reach, the NDC, we issued a statement and said we disregard all that. So the issue has become political. So IPAC can't resolve it. These are not
electoral political. Then IPAC could resolve, but
no.
it can't be.
But will you agree? Will you agree? You and your people. Will you agree that the second declarations didn't favor you?
We already
so disengage.
But
you understand? So you agree, and NDC won't.
The reason why I was calling for a swift IPAC meeting is that you see, it could have set a certain tone or stage for the comportment of the EC officials at the various coalition centers. You see, the way they behaved, it showed that
Prof,
they are taking.
Prof, you'll be shocked.
Please.
EC officials.
No,
Okay. No, so the way they behaved suggested to me that they had taken a certain stance, and they were there to execute that stance.
Some bidding.
And I felt that, look, if there had been a prior meeting or discussion, I mean, some of these things would have been tamed or watered down. But it was not good. I mean, I was just looking at the way and manner, the exchanges and other stuff. You are an EC official. And then the allegations of the votes being declared under duress. I kept asking myself that where were the security agencies when people were being forced to act under duress?
Let me assist you. Dr. Bossman Asare made the point that some returning officer had a gun pointed to his head before he declared.
No, you see,
when he was asked to point to which constituency this happened, then he started talking about Tema Central. When we told him that nothing like that happened in Tema Central, then he came to Okankwe Central.
No, you see,
your own journalist from here
see,
asked him that if he said somebody had a gun to his head, where did this happen? When these processes were covered by so many media houses. So it appears that he's been given some script to narrate. And he stuck to that narrative.
So you see why Bossman Asare and JeanMensah must go.
I don't want to talk about.
You see why they have to
go.
No,
these are matters on record.
I'm saying I don't want to use Bossman Asare's case as an example. As for Bossman Asare.
No, but as a high-ranking EC official, you don't feed into such a narrative.
Let me make my point. Wait. I'm saying that I don't want to use his case as an example because with the greatest of respect to him, I think anytime he speaks, I mean, he offends people's mood and sensibilities rather than
assuaging them.
Assuaging them. Yeah, he was my colleague, but I think on a lighter note, he's the Napo in the EC, and I think he doesn't sound conciliatory. I mean, how do you say that those listen?
In this case,
oh wait, I use it figuratively. I'm using it figuratively. He's a Napo in the EC. How do you say that those are asking for your removal
they
do not understand your mandate? I mean, others were removed before you came. And so this one, you see, if they are talking about this, you don't even say something. Just allow people to talk and then you focus on your work. But you come out and I say, sometimes I don't want to use him as an example to make my point. But the point is that if people said they acted under duress, didn't they have the opportunity to report to the security agencies who were providing security at the various coalition centers? Were they reports? Do we have any documentary evidence?
Let me give you another instance of EC conduct. EC actually appointed new returning officer for Tema Central last week to do the declaration. Because the returning officer...
The re-declaration was all...
the returning officer said, once the NDC is boycotting the process, he thinks that then we should fix another date and come back when matters are settled so that they can participate in the re-coalition. They say, no. So they got a new person to do the declaration. In Okankwe Central, the same thing happened. Baba Sadiq...
they say the Ofosuhini, now he had calmed down.
No, Ofosuhini is actually a EC director, Metro director. It's not a returning officer. But he took over the process. But when our returning officer decided that once there's a disagreement, he will leave, they actually appointed a new officer for the same day he did the declaration. So that's the conduct you speak to. In other constituencies, they also got new officials. So it goes to EC conduct.
Then that's Incompetence.
I am telling you.
Oh, how?
We appointed new people to actually supervise the process. So it was an agenda that has been set.
So where were
for
they?
that Saturday, it has to be done.
Where were they? Where were the original officials? They were the ones who were complaining that they were forced. They acted under duress. And my view is that you cannot have security agencies there policing election, and then you say
they
that
were all fabrications, afterthoughts. There were comments made as an afterthought.
Because you made reference to something Dr. Bossman Asare said in that interview that my colleague Beatrice Addo had with him. Let's take a listen specifically to what he said. Take a look.
I think everything went on excellently. We've engaged a lot of the observers from the African continent, AU, ECOWAS, Commonwealth, the International UN. All of them seem to be happy with the process. Domestic observer, Kodeo, and everyone.
How do you respond to the claim or allegation from critics that perhaps you are in cahoot with the NPP to prevent the NDC from absolute majority in Parliament?
You can read my lips. The Commission doesn't care who becomes majority in Parliament. We don't care who becomes minority in Parliament. What we care about is that let's follow the law. Let's do the right things. Because if we want to become an effective society, a law-abiding society, let's make sure that anyone who wants to abuse our system is not allowed. And this one, we as citizens must rise up, regardless of whoever we support. We shouldn't support anyone who engage in abuse of the law. That one will not help us.
So you're not even bothered about the claims that if it had not been transparency or vigilance on the part of a lot of people, the EC might have helped to rig the election?
I know people say things to excite their base, but let's be very clear. It's the vigilance of the EC, the citizens, which has brought us to this point where parties themselves told themselves that, by 12 May, I would have gotten the results from all the polling station because of the measures the EC.
But the fact that people outside the Electoral Commission were able to collate and give their results in time, and it took the Electoral Commission so long to do that, you don't think that that's inefficiency on your part?
No, that's what I'm saying. When people are ignorant about a process, the way they comment about the process is different.
So that's Dr. Bossman Asare is there. The Deputy Commissioner in charge of Corporate Services.
We had David Adenzikanga, we had Safo Kantanka, we had Ahins Afarijans, and all that heading the Electoral Commission. We saw how they engaged the public and the utterances and their temperament and all that. But I think that the latter-day Saint appointees are not. They use quite some I mean, the tone is not conciliatory, and then I would advise that going forward, you see, you are there as an independent arbiter, and so whatever you say, there is a way to be firm and assertive without raising your voice or having that kind of intemperate tone. And then, like I said, making some of these pronouncements that sort of make people annoyed rather than calming them down, that's not, gives you also away and festers a certain tag that people may have, placed on you, and in a manner that then undermines the expected neutrality and independence, of the commission. So we should generally look at this. I think the Electoral Commission needs a competent communications person. Okay, it shouldn't be the officers themselves, no, the commissioners themselves communicating. You need, there are some people, regardless of how the situation is, when they come out to speak, okay, they are able to calm down tempers, and they are able to also communicate in a manner that elicits a certain acceptance. And you have people, the moment they begin to speak, people get annoyed.
I'll send you a CV tomorrow.
But in time past, they have had communication officers.
No, they need a
competent
they move him to hold to become regional director.
Not people who speak, from their chest. Especially there are certain positions you cannot speak from your chest. Otherwise, like I said, then you become figuratively the NAPO in the commission. And
Yes,
it's not,
because that point is some have also supported that. It's in recent time that we haven't seen any public relations officer or communications officer for the Electoral Commission. Previously, there was a Silviano. Silviano was appointed as an ambassador. You know, in 2017, she was a public relations officer for the Electoral Commission at some point. That's prior to the 2016. So, but 11, Prof is beyond.
Why? Prof can head the issue now. Prof,
yes. Some people have said
Prof, you should head the issue.
Don't do that.
I will advocate for you.
Yes, Prof, it's your turn.
Let's not even go down.
It's your turn. JeanMensah out, Professor Gyampo in.
You are too qualified to head the issue.
Okay, so why did you not, Prof, I've seen those messages as well, because I'll read them. The ones that they are talking about. I'll read them.
I will advocate for you.
So, but why did you not pursue the Obuasi East constituency case? Same way that we've seen Okaikwe Central.
Abusunya wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so lawyer Martin Pebu ena walikisa info na ochese Professor Gyampo Sisiano ono ena yeba bi yino as EC officer abusunya Professor Gyampo no ose eye bia na chese ye democracy no enkoso yi na enyese da bia no ye nkwan abato ba akopena court NDC NPP na back and forth as a ye fame net say baby ano Canada no ye de to na bisia yembisa ye hu Professor Gyampo as EC boss ono nioma ebekoyi onko ono so MBS bia ne party interest and as a political interest or won't no ono so edru obey no ho fa habra busia ye mommy fan share your comment section or any update bi anaye nso ye ndi enkomo wo ho medamase